Cheerio. This is Carpaccio with the weekly Bailey Report. I'm over here in Liverpool today watching the geese and the ducks go by. Birds, creatures of the air. And we've got a lot of air going on now because all this weekend we've got the sun, conjunct Mercury, conjunct Venus, conjunct the north node of the moon, all in the sign of Libra, cardinal air, air that is moving, shifting, changing, initiating. You know, these air signs, air carries the pollen that fertilizes and brings new life to new plants, yeah? Libra initiates relationship and partnership. I'm gonna get a relationship partnership with this little guy. He's coming right up to me, but these guys are really something. I got chased by one of these a few years ago, so I don't know exactly how close I want to get. So anyway, back to the astrology report here. We've got, yes, a third quarter moon square happening. The last quarter square, it's at 22 degrees of Cancer. And then on Thursday, the moon moves into Leo. Saturday, she moves into Virgo. And finally on Tuesday into Libra. Coming around for the solar eclipse at 0 degrees of Scorpio on the 23rd. It's kind of an interesting time here because there's a lot of things kind of coming to a culmination. I think I talked about this last week. As this retrograde Mercury, it came by and conjoined with the north node of the moon at 19 degrees of Libra for the first time September 17th. And it goes up into Scorpio, goes retrograde, comes back, and is going to connect again in retrograde to the north node of the moon on the 20th, coming up here, and then goes direct, and November 1st comes back for the third pass. So there's like, and it's all, and the node has not moved, it's still at 19 degrees. So there's this 6-week connection. You know, it's like Mercury wants to tell us something, conjunct this north node of the moon. It's going to take 3 times. It may take 3 times for us to get it. Yeah? Instead of fighting over things. Libra is the sign of Venus, justice, peace, and truth. Anyway, we've got this Mercury going on, we've got the moon, we've still got, you know, Jupiter squaring Saturn here for another couple of weeks. And finally, also Uranus square Pluto. So let's put all these aspects together. I'll find a little place to chill out and sit down here and talk a little more about it. Alright, I found a place. Finally, oh my god. Is this a Mercury retrograde or what? Wow. I walked all around the lake, all the ducks and all the people, and I'm in the city, and I'm not really like a city person, and there's all these people around, and it's just been really something to see. I'm really experiencing not only the Mercury retrograde, trying to find the right thing and get now the camera could run out of batteries because I took so many videos of the ducks. But I'm experiencing this moon, this square moon in Cancer, with all this stuff going on in Libra, and I write this mantra, and I have these ideals that I want to portray or something, you know, and bring through the Pele report, and then I get out here, and well, I'll just start out with the mantra this week. Yeah, the mantra this week is really, in the maelstrom of right and wrong, I offer you my hand as I help you and you help me to reach the promised land. To me, this kind of sums up a lot of all of this North Node, the future intention of our souls at this time, in the sign of Libra for a year and a half. We're just about in the middle of it. It's from February of 2014 until 11/11 of 2015. We've got this, North Node moving through Libra, which is come out of yourself, come into relationship, be with other people, and find fairness, equanimity, fraternity, yes, compassion, love, understanding, justice, truth, all with this other people. And it's, of course, opposite Uranus, conjunct the south node of the moon in Aries, and it's square to the moon right now in Cancer, and that squares Pluto up there in Capricorn. And so there's these other dynamics going on. It's like it's just not so simple. It's not a simple walk in the park. Because I'm walking through the park, and I have the Sun conjunct Uranus, first of all, and then I have it in the 12th house of seclusion, isolation, meditation, and dreams. I'm not a real people person. It's something I moved to Costa Rica where I don't speak Spanish, and so it's almost like I have this buffer. I don't feel so self-conscious because nobody, I feel like I'm not understood with my English, and I don't speak there. So there's just like I don't have to worry about it. But now I come over here to Liverpool, the UK, and these people speak English. And I'm walking around the lake, and there's all these people around, right? And it's like, I want to find a little, I walked all over trying to find a secret hiding place where nobody would hear me and nobody would see me and I could think straight because I wouldn't be distracted by people. I always give the Pele report, I'm kind of out there by myself. I'm getting more in a meditative state, yeah? So this is something that I really point out to. This is the moon in Cancer. It's introversion. It's my feelings and my self-consciousness and my inner world that wants to retract, go inside myself, and it's Uranus in the first house of I have my way and I don't want to change. You can go back to last week because I talked about Uranus, and what I didn't say so much about Uranus is it's really interesting because Uranus lay on Gaia, the sky god laid on Gaia, the earth goddess, right? It's like the sun and the moon, the masculine and the feminine, and he laid on Gaia and gave offspring. And those offspring stayed in Gaia until Kronos. Well, they made Gaia uncomfortable, right? Until Kronos, Saturn, time. It was time. So what we're saying is, the sky and the earth were united as one until there was time. So this was before time. And when time came around, Kronos came around, Kronos cut the balls off of Uranus, yeah? And Uranus separated, and then there was air, and I was talking about this Libra, and air is this Mercury, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, left brain, and it's this intellectual, it's ego, it's consciousness. We could say Gaia is the underworld and the sky god is the upper world. There was no middle world. There was no self-consciousness. There was no ego. Yeah? But, yeah, and so it's interesting then time comes along. And I'm sure with it space. Yeah, time creates space. Time moves through space. Yeah, whatever. Intricate relationship between time and space. And out of that, right, it's like time cuts the balls off of Uranus, and when his balls hit the sea, right, his testicles hit the sea, up comes Aphrodite, and then then we've got the Titans and the Cyclopses, and then it's like creation starts diversifying, and consciousness brings diversification and individuation. And so we've been through this, you know, this patriarchal time of individuation for the last few thousand years, and many of us have had so many incarnations now. And now this Uranus coming through Aries, conjunct the south node of the moon, it's kind of like underlining, you know, just how unique, how different, how bizarre and unusual each and every single one of us is. And that makes it hard to get along. And Uranus was a rigid god. He didn't want to change. And I can see that, you know, there's this Cancerian and this Aries and even, you know, Capricorn also. Is I want to control the show. Pluto in Capricorn. Yeah? I'm the boss. I make the rules. I do the, you know, I set the boundaries. So these cardinal signs, you know, it's kind of interesting. Cardinal wants to, you know, impress itself on the outside world, but not change itself. It's not mutable. You know, thank God we got Mars moving through Sagittarius. It's a mutable sign. We got Neptune and Chiron through Pisces, you know, immutable. We got some mutable stuff going on now, but this cardinal, and then we got this Jupiter in Leo, you know, with Mars. And I mean, I talked about the religious wars and this, you know, I believe in myself and my way and my truth. Jupiter in Leo is my way or the highway. You know, I'm the king, I'm the queen here. I'm the big jefe, the big cheese. So all I can say is, what, you know, what this all boils down to me is I'm just really getting this personal feeling of how, you know, easier said than done. Easier said than done. And I think of this in Lakesh, I am another you. And seeing myself in the other. And we have all these, you know, wonderful phrases and ideas, you know, that, and they make a lot of sense. Yeah? When you're tripping or you're on ayahuasca or you've got, you know, you're in some altered state of consciousness. But try living that in your day-to-day reality. Yeah? I talk to these people on the street and go, I am another you. They're going to take like 10 steps back and go, I don't think so. We are each other. We mirror each other in you know, in a one specific way, in a very deep way, in a very spiritual way. And it takes, I would say, the evolution of consciousness. It takes the opening of the third eye. It takes the opening of the heart to really see and to really feel the connection and the union. Because until then, we have the fight about, this is what I say in the mantra, the maelstrom of right and wrong. The thing about Libra and justice, you know, I mean, justice. Obviously, the Palestinians have a different idea of justice than the Israelis, yeah? And, you know, and the people that are fighting from one side or the other, and even maybe with your spouse, you know, you've got a different idea, okay? You know, I think this is just. And somebody else comes through and says, I think this is just. And then you say, I think this is true. And somebody else comes up and says, I think that this is true. That's true. And then, I mean, so it's like, yeah, this is why Libra's associated with the lawyer in the courtroom, you know, trying to establish what is true and what is just. This is not a given. Let's not assume that, you know, when we say, oh, you know, I want justice, that we're all talking about the same thing. I don't think so. Or we wouldn't be fighting. So this North Node in Libra is challenging us. It's calling us. This is not like, oh, let's just all be lovey-dovey and it's ruled by Venus and, you know, sweet things and say nice things and, you know, skate on the surface of life. Yeah, there's another layer. There's another depth. These birds land on the water. Yeah, you know, and the water brings us down. Anyway, so the challenge, I'm facing it, you're facing it, we're all facing it. This is the time now. The North Node is the unfamiliar, the unknown, the path of evolution into what we have not done before. So let's try doing relationship and partnership, communication, yeah, interrelation, interpenetration, nonviolent communication in another way, and it opens us up to greater and greater expanded realities and greater expanded. It's like everybody shows us a unique new part of ourselves. So don't be this Uranus and Aries right now. Don't be this rigid, I am not going to change, I'm not going to move, I'm not going to compromise or cooperate, or I want to stay just who I am and where I am. It's like, come on. Get over it, step out, take the hands that reach out to you, reach your hand out to others, and a new expanded reality on planet Earth, in each of our souls, can be birthed and realized. So, in the maelstrom of right and wrong, I offer you my hand as I help you and you help me to reach the promised land. And that promised land is not necessarily out there. The promised land, is right in here. So I help you and you help me to realize our own truth. That could be another way of looking at it, especially with like Mars and Sag, Jupiter and Leo. The truth, Sagittarius and Jupiter, has a lot to do right now in these days, with, it's like it's inside. And the Libra is the mirror. So we mirror each other, open each other, expand each other, and have a good time. Ow! It's actually a really good time. Moon moving through here. We're coming up to that solar eclipse. Look forward to talking at ya next week for 000 Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Venus, solar eclipse next week. Namaste. Aloha. Cheerio. So much love.
Thank you.